Okay, for anybody who doesn't remember, the book that I'm working on is about the warden's daughter in a prison, in Auburn prison, in 1890. And the story's time period is taking place during the 1 year that William Kimmler, the first man to die by electrocution, it was imprisoned in this prison the year leading up to his execution. Now, I told you all that to kind of give you a reminder of the characters who are involved in the story, because the thing that I just realized today while editing was that I need to cut out a point of view character. The point of view character is a character who you're actually seeing the story through their eyes. The main character in my story is Charlotte, the warden's daughter. However, when I first wrote this story, I had 5 or 6 point of view characters telling the story. That included Charlotte, her mother, her father, the warden, and even the man who was condemned to death. I also have a guard telling a point of view too. So there was at least 5 main point of view characters. However, through this editing with my agent, we've slowly dwindled that down because we realized that the perspective of Gertrude, that's the mother, and William, the man who's going to die by electrocution, and several of the others, they weren't tied to the main plot, and so it was almost like a distraction or sort of a tangent. I mean, it would be sort of connected, but just not connected enough. It would end up feeling like it was slowing down the story. So first I cut out everyone except for Charlotte, that's the warden's daughter, the warden himself, and a guard who becomes a relationship with Charlotte. And even that felt really hard. It was so hard cutting out all of those characters because I've spent years researching them and building their voice and building those chapters. And several of these individuals are also real people. They're real historical figures that I researched. I researched what they looked like and how they talked and how they did everything. So it was kind of heartbreaking. And as I'm editing now, I'm realizing that my agent has remarks in all of the chapters that are Charles's chapters, and I don't think that she even did it realizingly, but each of Charles' chapters seems to have remarks about how the chapter doesn't feel complete, how it seems like something's missing, and I even myself, I'm struggling to edit them, and I'm putting return later on all of them, and I'm realizing that I'm putting return later only on Charles' chapters, and I just can't seem to work on his chapters. And suddenly it occurred to me that, as I was looking at a list of his chapters, that we didn't really need those chapters. And so I went through the outline and I pulled out all of his point of view chapters. And it cleans the whole thing up. It cleans it up, it makes it more straightforward. And so I have to cut Charles' point of view. That means that I'm down to just 2 point of view characters, the main character and one other character, and it's a good thing because it's like, oh, this is going to fix so many problems, but then it's also a really, really sad thing because I've worked so hard on him. I've spent so many hours with this person, this character that I created. I've spent so many hours seeing the world through his perspective, with his childhood memories and his life and his traumas and all these things, and it's all gotta just go. I really wanted the next one of these that I did to be positive because the last one was kind of down and everybody's like, oh, you're so sad about your thing that you're struggling with, and I'm just like, oh, that's just, unfortunately, when it comes to this editing stage, it's really hard to find like a woohoo kind of day. You're never like, yeah, I'm gonna cut out 7 of the chapters I spent hours and hours working on because it turns out they're all useless. It's so hard to be like, it's a bittersweet thing. Obviously, I'm laughing and I'm okay because it's a good thing. It's gonna solve problems, but it's also sad because you're just having to cut out so much of the stuff that you did to make this final thing good and readable. So that's where I am today.